What's going on, Sumolings? Thank you so much for joining us for another product walkthrough webinar. I am Lindsay, and I am joined by Alyssa and Christopher over at Brandox. We're going to dive into Brandox in just a second. First, I want to tell you, in case you're not sure what we're talking about today, Brandox is a visually organized file platform that lets you easily organize, share, and manage brand assets. It's available on AppSumo starting at just $59 for a lifetime deal. Before we dive in, quick things. If you have any questions about the tool, you want to know how to get set up, the deal, anything like that, go ahead and leave those questions in the Q&A box down below the video. We are going to circle back to those questions in just a few minutes or after the walk. And then if you want to tell us a little bit about your use case, you want to tell us a little bit about, you can tell us where you're tuning in from. We'd love to hear that. But tell us a little bit about why you're interested in Brandox. You could do that over in the chat room. We love to hear from y'all. And then the last thing is that there will be a replay of this available. So if you want to watch this again, you can. But also if you need to step out, that's totally cool too. All right. Hey, Alyssa, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. How about you, Lindsay?
I'm doing all right. I am excited to dive into this. I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to you for the walkthrough, but as soon as you're ready for those questions, go ahead and let me know.
Okay, will do. Thanks.
Have fun.
All right. So as Lindsay said, I'm Alyssa, and some of you have already seen me on the deal page. So hi, I'm more than just a picture on the deal page. And with me is Christopher, our CTO.
Hi.
So if you have any technical questions, he'll be here to answer those for you. So what I'm going to do now is right before the walkthrough, I'm going to give you a little bit of a background on Brandox and how we got to be here today. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Here we go. Cool. All right. So Brandox, what's the deal? How did this happen? So the story of Brandox begins a few years ago with a bunch of people working for a communications agency here in southern Sweden, where we're based. And essentially what kept happening was that in working with client brand assets, we came across two big issues. So number one was that people actually didn't know where their brand assets were, or they had a file that had been uploaded and downloaded 8 billion times and the resolution was terrible and crappy. So that really didn't work. Number two was that people actually did know exactly where their brand assets were, but they were involved in some complicated system that everyone was too scared to touch. So basically we knew exactly where everything was, but we just either couldn't get to it or people were scared of messing up the system somehow. So after going through this a few billion times, we all decided that it would be a great idea to maybe build a custom solution for our clients. So Brandox initially started off as something that we built for our communications agency clients. And then as time went on, we sort of realized, oh, hey, actually, maybe there's a bit of a market for that. So enter Brandox. I'm going to move this over a little bit so we can have a little more space. So what Brandox is brand asset management, but sort of stripped down. Brand management made easy. We do not classify ourselves as a digital asset management tool, and I'll get more into that a bit later on. But we believe that this is the easiest way to organize and share all the files that you need for any aspect of your marketing materials. So a lot of you are going to be familiar with this sort of scene, right? Your internal server or your desktop is just sort of a mess with lots of different folders and files, and you're sort of spending ages clicking through stuff to find things. That's a huge time waster. So that's why we went with a system that's a bit more streamlined, such as this. And of course, in a few minutes, we're going to walk through everything that Brandox has to offer, so you sort of understand why we went with this sort of visual layout instead of the traditional folder format. But Brandox essentially replaces a whole bunch of things. So instead of having a complicated web of online folders where you have to email things, and then you also have to be aware of, you know, file size issues and compression issues, we sort of built it in a way that allows you to interact with your brand assets without having to worry about all of that stuff. And our motto is keep it simple, stupid. So what that means for us is that whenever we add a new feature or whenever we make a change on the platform, we always weigh that against simplicity. So our leading vision is to make this a product that people will actually use and interact with. So what that means for us is that we sort of differentiate ourselves from everyone else that's out there on the market, because we're actually easy to use. We're not scary. We're not super complicated. So by lowering the threshold for everybody to be able to use, we actually are useful, and it's easier to be a single source of truth for all of your brand assets. And to sort of lay out the competition a little bit more, like I said, we don't classify ourselves as a DAM or BAM tool, if you're familiar with those, and you can sort of see them here. The traditional setup with Binder, Brandfolder, Canto, all of those. I mean, those are great tools and they work well for particular use cases and particular customers, but we focus mainly on SMEs and agencies, and all of our features are sort of skewed towards those particular use cases. Yeah, so now I'm gonna jump over to the actual brand portal. So when you create a brand page, when you come in, you can sort of customize this however you like. So for us, this is sort of what it looks like. This is actually ours. Along the top, you'll see, let's move you down here, it'll be a bit easier. So as I said, we have ditched the traditional folder structure. What we have are sections and subsections. So over here in the left, you'll see logo types, images, colors. Those are the page sections. And then within those, you have individual subsections to sort of help you organize it better. And along the top, you have the top menu bar. So you have basically your user settings, page settings, notifications, and you're able to switch between different brand pages. Here you have the share tool. So once we add brand assets, you'll be able to share from here. And then you have the search bar, like that. Ooh. Oh, it doesn't want to agree with me today. That's nice. But you also have the filter button, so you can filter using the file type and any labels that you've added. So I'm going to quickly switch to a couple different brand pages here. Let's go to this demo page. So here is another way you can set up things. Again, images, logo types, colors, and something that's sort of unique about us, a particular thing that we do here, is you can actually add your colors as a brand asset. So for example, if I choose whatever color, this is summer pink, let's call it. And I can add a few little descriptions here, save, and now it appears here. So you can always store everything you need in one location. It's not just images or video, it's pretty much anything. And I'll stop here to say, in particular, something that we're pretty proud of is that we can host pretty much any file type. So you're not restricted in terms of what you can actually host on Brandox. And you can actually host different file types in the same section or subsection. So that gives you a little more flexibility in how you display your brand assets and how you want to present them either internally within your organization or publicly to press, event organizers, and so on. Right. So if I go back to images here, I can show you the share tool. So if you select this little icon here to share files, what happens is you'll see in the top corner here that our little tool flashes. Select that, and you can put in an email address to whoever. And here you have the download link that's been sent. So if I were to click on that right now, you would get a basic overview of the files that have been sent. And I can also download the files directly as a zip folder right here. And once again, I'm going to repeat here that when you share files through Brandox, when you upload the file, you upload it in the original format and we host it as the original format and in the original file size. So when you share files, you're actually sharing files as you've uploaded them to Brandox. And that's a really helpful way to sort of make sure that people get uncorrupted files and you don't have to worry about the issues that sort of typically happen with file sharing. Right. So, oh, the thing with screen sharing is that you actually cannot see the top of your, that's really inconvenient. Oh, well, right. So we can sort of get rid of that. And the thing, the person on the other side, they'll get this email with the download link and a preview of what the files are that have been shared with them. So that's a pretty simple way of sharing files with other people outside of your organization or even internally. Right. So let's see. User settings. Something that we've had a couple questions on is granular access. So something you can do if you select this little lock button here, what happens is here you're able to select which users actually have access to each section. So if you're super admin for a page, you have access to all sections unless another super admin is taking you away from page access. Hopefully not. But in general, super admins have access to all parts of the brand page, and they can control what other users with both edit and view only permission have. So here, Axel's out of luck. I don't want him to see images, so save. And now for Axel, he won't be able to see this section until I or one of the other admins give him permission again. So that's a really simple way of managing that. And you can also do that from user settings here. At any point, you can sort of change the permission levels for each of your users. And when you're adding users here, you can either choose to upload them as a single user or as a group where you drop all of their email addresses in, separated by commas, of course, and you select the page permissions that you want to give them. So you can either give them view only, which means that they can view and download the files that are on your brand page, or they can edit, which means that they can actually upload files and make changes to labels, tags, so on, or super admin, again, admin control over the entire page. So if we go back to the brand page. So the biggest thing for us is that we wanted everything to be a super visual overview, because this sort of helps you understand what assets you have, and it helps other users understand what assets they have as well, or they have access to. We pull basic metadata, which you can sort of get a glimpse here. So you can get a quick overview of the file type, the size of the file, the dimensions of the file. So you can see here. Then if I go into the information of the file, you can sort of see the labels that we've attached to that, the last time it was modified, and who added the file, resolution, all of that. I can edit this at any point. So if I want to change how this file is showing, I can change it to fit content. I can give it a background. These are the background colors you can select. So I'll give that light gray. I can add labels, tags, and so on. Save. And now that's been updated for this file. And really quickly, I'm going to show you a little bit on sort of drag and drop to upload. So you can actually upload multiple assets at one time. It sort of saves you a lot of time and energy. You don't have to click, drag, click, drag. And again, as you're uploading, you can sort of select how the asset is being viewed. You can change the title here, add a quick description. That's nice. I think warm memories. Add a quick background, and here again, you can add different tags. So if you already have existing tags, you can do that here. Add another tag, save. And then what happens with tags later on is it's really handy with filter function. So I can filter for that photo. And there it is. So yeah, I think I've covered pretty much everything with this. The deal that we have with AppSumo is that for each code, you get 10 brand pages, or you can create up to 10 brand pages. And I'll quickly note here, because we've had a couple of questions about this, that you can have different users on different brand pages. So you, as the subscription administrator, you can control who has access to which brand pages. So you don't have to have the same users in all of the pages. So just want to clarify that now while I've got a bit of time. I think I've covered everything, Christopher.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, cool. All right, so with that, Lindsay, I think we're ready for questions.
Awesome, yeah. Denise wants to know if she can see an example of a document, not just a photo or logo.
Sure. We actually have some here on our brand, our page. So here we have a PDF. So you can upload PDFs. We grab a quick screenshot of that, or a JPEG of that. Templates, we have PDF files here as well.
Awesome, looks great.
Yeah.
All right, so Sumalings, if you have any questions that you want to submit, now is your time to send them to the Q&A box. I'm going to go ahead and run through the ones that we have here. I'm wondering if I can use this for a public brand kit on my website, also as part of my digital press kit.
Yes, so this would be a good time to sort of go through the typical use cases that we have. So you can have your pages either public or private. And a lot of our users use this as a public page, so they can use it to host their brand kit material for press, for event management, all that stuff. So you can sort of choose which way you want it, either an internal brand hub or an external brand page.
Awesome. Can I pack up a full client branding package to return to them after the campaign?
To return to them as in like a delivery, so you can use this to deliver. Yeah, absolutely. That's actually sort of the origin of Brandox. So as a communications agency, we worked with a lot of clients to develop marketing material and entire branding materials, and then we would package that in this and deliver it to the client. So that's actually how Brandox started.
Great. All right. Jamie says, I apologize if I just missed this. Can I upload text and doc files in addition to images and PDFs?
Yes, you can. So the thing with Brandox is you can actually upload any file, but at present we don't have preview possibilities for all files. We have previews for pretty much the main file types, so videos. Oh, and I should have mentioned that you can actually embed YouTube and Vimeo videos, so you can actually play those straight from the brand. Yeah, we don't need to. But yeah, you can play those directly from Brandox. So yeah, you can upload doc files. It's just I don't believe we have previews for doc files.
No.
Cool.
Not for this, I'm actually gonna.
All right. Jacqueline asks, how and why is this a better alternative to Canva?
Ooh, yeah, I knew we were gonna get a Canva question.
I don't usually name alternatives by name, but that's one that's obviously big enough that I will say it out loud.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen really quick so we can. There we go. That's a bit better. Right. So I'm not here to bash any other services or tools. Canva's great. I've personally used Canva. Fantastic. So for some people that may work better, but for us, the thing with Canva is it's a content creation tool, and we are not that. We are a your brand and your brand assets. So you upload the updated, finalized versions of files, and everyone in your organization has access to them. If you would like a content creation tool like Canva, then definitely go for Canva, like good stuff. But this is what differentiates us from other DAM or BAM tools, digital asset management or brand asset management tools, is that we do not have any content creation features, and we don't. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for the clarification. All right, Daryl wants to know, what do you mean uploaded to Brandox? Aren't our files stored on our website or server?
Right, so Brandox is a web app, so the files that you upload to Brandox we're not connected to any other service. So we do have plans to do an API for web in the future. That's a high priority item for us. So in the future, you will be able to sort of integrate Brandox into your website and sort of pull assets to your website. But when I say upload to Brandox, you are actually uploading to our software.
Awesome, thank you. Can you edit the metadata in Brandox?
Well, you can add information in the description section of the files, and you can add labels and tags to refine it. But in general, the metadata that we pull, that's fixed. And I should say, what I should have said there is when you add information to the description section, that also helps, that's also searchable. So you can actually find things that way as well. So if there's specific terms that you want to use, you can use that there. And we're actually working to make that section a bit more flexible for those needs. But the metadata that we pull, it's file name. So the original file, as you upload it, you cannot edit that once it's in Brandox. You can change like the name that you give it in Brandox, but the actual file name, we pull that. The file type, file weight. What am I forgetting here?
Dimensions.
Yes, dimensions. I'm actually gonna put this out a little bit so you can actually see Christopher instead of him just being a voice off in the corner. Yeah, so I think that's what we do for.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense to like change the dimensions of the image because they are what they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So other than that, that's what we have for metadata.
Awesome. All right, Mike says this looks great. I like the colors feature, which provides a style guide of sorts. Can we provide information like fonts used also?
Fonts used. Oh, we are working on improving that actually. So you can upload fonts now, but we don't have features for that or preview feature for that. And we're actually working on updating that. And in terms of selecting fonts, that's actually not something that we can do right now. So like a drop-down menu where you select like Helvetica, or not have that right now.
Cool.
But you can totally upload the fonts and
share them.
Yeah, and share them. But currently we don't preview how they look, and we're going to add that.
All right. Daryl would like to know what specifically is a brand page. Sorry about her.
And your dog also wants to know. I like it. Right. So a brand page, it is well, it's a page where you upload the elements of your brand. Essentially, think of it as a brand portal or maybe a press page that could help as well. But basically, it's where you have all of the assets that make up the visual identity of your brand. So images, logo types, colors, video, audio, marketing materials, all of that that makes up your brand, we host it. And that's what.
Awesome. I have a lot of audio and video files to store. Is there a lot of storage?
Right, so the AppSumo deal gives you 150 gigs of storage, that's gigabytes of storage per subscription. So just to clarify, one code equals one subscription with Brandox, and each subscription we treat independently from each other. So each of those subscriptions gives you 150 gigabytes that you can share between up to 10 brand pages.
Awesome. I love that this stores the upload in its original file size. I'm curious how people manage web versions of the same file. How are people keeping this all organized?
Web versions. So what a lot of people do is if they have print versions and then web versions of things, they will have those differentiated in the subsections. So that's actually why we have that layout. So you can have like a general images section, and then you can break that up into images for print, images for web, images for social media. And that's actually how we use Brandox internally.
But currently, you don't like create different web versions from Brandox. We do support currently like downloading JPEG versions of some files and PNG versions of some files, and we will work on making like the cropping of those versions settable by the user, and that would mean like that you could actually create web versions from Brandox, but generally that's not like what we try to be a tool for. So generally you would download the file and then create the cropping and resolution, etc. on your machine.
Yeah. I realize that's probably something I should have shown in the walkthrough, but as we have a built-in converter when you download files, so you can actually choose to download files as a JPEG or PNG as you're downloading them. So it's actually quite handy. And for those who might not be aware of like what they're more useful for, we actually tell you, so JPEG useful for this, PNG more useful for graphics, so on. So that's a pretty helpful tidbit.
We have presets for a bunch of social media.
Yeah, so like Facebook, Twitter, we have those presets set up already. So when you download, you can change that, or you can do a custom crop as well. So you can change the size that you want it in.
Very fun, very cool. On the demo account, how is the template section formatted? How do we do a list mode and not tiles?
Right, okay. So list mode, you can actually change that in the, actually, you know what? I'll go ahead and share my screen again just to show everybody how that looks. Here we go. Right, so here for the section, you can actually choose grid or list mode. And this is also where you can sort of edit the section description. And this is a great way of telling people how to use the assets stored in that section. You can also change the name at any point and change the order that the subsections appear in. So you just drag and drop to change these around.
Very fun, easy to use. All right, how many clients can I have at once? I'm confused about what a workplace versus brand account is.
Yeah, okay. So that is actually something that we changed the copy on the deal page to try and clarify things, but maybe we didn't clarify it quite well enough. So we do not have a limit on users. You can have as many users on a brand page as you like. So we don't increase the charge. So the answer to that first part of the question is as many as you need. So workspace, it just means subscription, as I said before. One code equals one subscription / workspace. And you can create up to 10 brand pages within that workspace.
Great, that actually answered the next question that I had here. Trisha, if that happened to not answer your question, I'm sorry, just let me know. What is it specifically that makes you different from traditional DAM systems? DAM systems? I don't know.
DAM systems, yeah. So it's that we don't have the content creation features. So typically with DAM tools, you have versioning. You can leave you can create things directly within a DAM, or you can like pull assets to create things. And we do not do that. So that's one big difference between us and, you know, the binders of the world.
Sure. All right. We get this question often. So by uploading, you're storing a copy of the file. What's the privacy policy for all of this content?
Yeah, we are fully GDPR compliant. So that's a good thing to add in this day and age. You don't interfere with your files. So awesome. Your files are your own.
You don't want anything to do with
any copyright over that. You retain the copyright for all of your files.
Cool. For storage limits, is it for all workspaces or for each workspace?
For each workspace. So again, workspace is the same as a subscription with up to 10 brand pages. So if you were to create 10 brand pages within the workspace, you're sharing the 150 gigabytes between those 10. And then if you subscription, that's another 150 gigabytes. But for that subscription, you cannot share it between subscriptions.
And what is the file size limit?
I don't think we have one.
There isn't one, so you can upload whatever files you want, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And then what happens, sorry, I just closed the thing. Is the data stored on an EU-based server? That was yes, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, nope, we got that question. Sorry if it looks like I'm skipping questions, I'm sorry, it's just because I believe that they've already been answered, but if I'm wrong about that, go ahead and let me know. If you have an asset that can go to multiple workspaces, or I guess different brand pages rather, do you need to upload to each brand page individually?
Yes, you do. You do have to upload them individually.
All right. For metadata, can I add descriptions, tags, etc., that would stick to the files upon download? I guess what I'm asking is if it embeds or not, so that if you share with someone, they can see it on their computer, or does that stay in Brandox?
I believe the answer is that stays in Brandox, yes.
Yeah, because you only download the file, not the
awesome.
metadata. If you do, however, like invite that person to the brand page, that person can see all the metadata, of course.
Yeah.
Instead of just showing the file.
Cool. All right, Jacqueline, yes, you can have multiple brands within a workspace. This question from Daryl, I believe we've already answered. Does this mean that per account, Daryl, 150 gigs per account, and then it's split across as many brand pages as you make? A lot of storage questions. People love storage questions. So all of the sections are on one page and we have 10 pages with access. I believe that's correct. There are a lot of questions about this clarification. Great. All right. Can you see who or how many times an asset has been downloaded by users?
Actually, that is brand asset analytics or something that we're working on. So that's not available now, but in the future, you'll be able to sort of see which assets are downloaded or interacted with regularly.
Fun. Can you edit tags in bulk?
Yes, you can. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again just to show how this looks. So what you can do when you select assets, you'll see this little menu pop up. And here in the dropdown, you can actually update or even create new labels. So that's something that you can do pretty quickly. So
that's fun. Is there an unlimited option, or do you just need to stack the code purchases? Stack your codes.
Stack the codes. Yeah, the answer to that is stack. We do have an unlimited version, but that is outside of the AppSumo deal.
Which I guess is fine too, but also just
but for this.
We stack here. All right, Jamie wants to know, what about backups? That was the whole question.
Christopher, I think this might be in terms of
we have gotten this question actually since we launched on AppSumo, and currently you can't like create a backup, but it will definitely be something we're planning to add, so that you can download backups whenever you want, and possibly also like have like a scheduled thing, but we haven't really decided on how everything would work, but
it's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Love it. Sumolings, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave those in the Q&A box now. I'm going to go ahead and get through what we have remaining here. To clarify, yes, it's a workspace, gets brand accounts. You have your clients each get their own brand account. I think.
Yeah.
I
saw a question in the chat. I just want to say from Celeste, who asked, "Can I access my other Brandox accounts without having to log on and off?" Yes. So all the Brandox accounts are linked to your email, and then there is actually you get an overview. I think I briefly showed you that when I switched brand pages earlier. But all of the brand pages that are linked to your email will be in that overview page. So it'll have like the logos of all the companies, and you can switch between. And when you're in a brand page, in the lower left corner, there's always an option to switch brand pages. So it's simple.
Amazing. She says, "Thanks for pronouncing my name right."
Yes.
Love that. Awesome. All right. I'm going to guess that this is a different question than the question that I just answered, that I just asked you, but I'm not totally sure. Bethany wants to know, how do you handle your backups?
Oh, us personally? I think that's the same answer. So we don't have backups, external backups in place. I mean, we have internally with Brandox, we have sort of redundancies to make sure that we don't like lose things, obviously. So we are really, really careful with your files, I promise. But in terms of external backups, as Christopher said earlier, we've had this question a few times. So we're in conversations internally about how this would look, and if it would be possible for you to set up regularly scheduled backups. Sort of the logistics of it are what we're talking about now. But in the future, you will be able to have external backups.
Awesome. All right. What would it cost if you needed to upgrade your space later on?
So upgrade, I'm assuming here you mean like add storage or brand pages?
That's my guess.
Yeah, so for additional storage, we are offering a few options at a discount for Sumo links. I have it here. So if you want to add more storage down the line, you can get 100 gigabytes for $49 a year. And this is where it's subscription based again. So this isn't a one-time payment, but this is sort of a deal that we worked out with AppSumo behind the scenes. So 100 gigabytes for $49 a year, 250 gigabytes for $89 a year, 500 gigabytes for $159 a year. Anything outside of that, you would have to contact us directly, and then we'll talk to you one-on-one. So we do try to be flexible with this sort of thing because we understand that people have different needs. So generally we say contact us directly at support@brandox.com, and then we'll talk to you personally. Yeah.
Wonderful, thank you. All right, I told you we would get this question. What are some of the upcoming features on the roadmap?
Nice, okay. So that gives me a great opportunity to once again share my screen. I feel like I should have just kept this up. But yeah, so we do have, where is it? Ooh, this button is really irritating. No, here we go. Right. So here we go. Right now, what we're working on, adding more previews for file types, including fonts, improving the preview experience. So we're going to add arrows to make it easier for you to click through. You can also use your keyboard once it's live. Improving the multi-asset editing function that I showed you earlier so that you'll be able to move multiple assets to different areas in your brand page, and a couple other tweaks. We'll also be adding the ability to have clickable URLs in the contact area at the bottom of brand pages, which really quickly, I'll show you what that looks like. So down here, cool Ben, I'm sure if you've seen him around town, Ben's been cheating on us with other companies. That's fine though, Ben, it's fine, we'll forgive you. In this section, as it stands right now, you can have contact information, email, phone, and Skype chat contact info. We're going to add another section here so you can have a URL clickable. And then adding URLs in the asset description field. So when you upload an asset, you can sort of add URLs like, oh, this is where you can find this asset. We got it from here, that sort of thing. Because we've had a few questions along these lines, and this is sort of a quick fix or a really quick way we can make things a bit easier for some of the Sumo links out there. Right, and then after that, we're gonna focus on password protected brand pages. So you don't need to actually add someone as a user to Brandox to be able to access your files. So you just give them a password and they can see them. White label and CNAME. We've had this question so many times and we totally get it. This is gonna be a bit of a longer term thing though, so bear with us. And then after that, being able to manually move brand pages to another subscription on your own instead of contacting us, which is the current system, API for web, which I mentioned, and also a free space section, which will allow you to sort of create clear brand guidelines for people. So you have one section on your brand page where you can sort of have everything like overview. So that's sort of what we're working on right now. And no, this has been like a huge question with Sumo links. So hopefully that helps. And some of these are suggestions that we got from Sumo links. So we're super grateful for that. Thank you for your input.
Amazing. We have just one more question here. Sumo links, if you have any more, go ahead and leave those in the Q&A box. That's where I'm grabbing these from. So the question here is, can you elaborate on the video upload from YouTube? Is it a link or embed code? And does it count against the storage limit?
Yeah, so it's an embed code. So you basically copy the embed code from YouTube, paste it in our tool, and if you're still seeing the screen, you'll see something like what you're seeing right now. And it does not count towards the storage. So you can add how many YouTube videos you like.
And Vimeo.
And Vimeo.
Awesome. Can you embed files so that they're accessible on other systems, for example, Notion, Asana, or Evernote?
We don't have any integrations with other services at this time. Our big focus, and again, I'll stop sharing screen. So our big focus is to get the API up and running. That's sort of our next huge milestone. And once that is out of the way, we're gonna look at other options for what services do and don't make sense. So we're not committing to any specific integrations right now because our goal is on, well, integrations besides web. So that's something that we'll do. But as far as other services, we don't integrate with any of them right now. And we're sort of taking that decision in the future.
Awesome. And then we just had one more clarification here. I wanted to see if I have an ad that goes to different affiliates and there's one part of the ad that's editable, are they able to do that in this platform?
Again, we don't do content creation or content editing, so that's going to be a no. Okay. You can send them the template or the files, but then it's up to them to sort of download it and then use it.
Make the changes.
Yeah.
All right. So those are all of the questions that we have received in the Q&A box. I'm going to go ahead and close us out. Thank you so much, Alyssa and Christopher, for hanging out with us today and answering all of our questions and walking us through the software. Sumolings, if you have not already, you can go redeem your code at appsumo.com/Brandox. It is available on AppSumo right now. A lifetime deal starts at just $59. And of course, it is backed by AppSumo's 60-day guarantee. So you can go ahead, get set up, play around, and see how it works for you. We would love to know, how it's going. So you can leave us in the comments, leave us your reviews, tell us how you're loving it, tell us how you're using it. And then of course, if you have any more questions, I hope that we answered everything today, but if you have any more, you can go ahead and leave those on the deal page and we'll get you your answers. Thank you again so much, Alyssa and Christopher, for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Y'all are wonderful. Have a good one, everybody.